Hey there, first graders. I'm Miss Davis and I teach first grade at Kennedy, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do some math subtraction games. Alright, so the first thing we do when we're playing this game, roll and record subtraction, is make sure that you have your recording sheet. So it looks like this, and then I'm going to show you how to play the game. So when we're playing roll and record subtraction, we have to have two die. So we have a number die and a dot die, and then we're going to have these cubes, these snap cubes, to help us subtract. So we roll our dice first thing. We roll our number die and then our dot die, and the number die tells us which number we're starting with. So we're starting with the number 8. So I'm going to take my snap cubes and I'm going to build 8. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to put this one over here so we can see it. And then our dot die tells us how many we are taking away. So right now I have 8 and I'm taking away 3. So I'm going to take 3 of these away. There's 1, 2, 3. Now, to figure out what my answer is, I need to count how many snap cubes are left. So I'm going to go up and count, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know my answer is 5. Now I have to come down here on my recording sheet and find the number 5. I see it right here, and I'm going to go in and write a number 5. So let's do it one more time. We start with our big number. I'm going to start over, and we're going to roll both die. So I've got an 8 again and a 1. So I'm going to build my 8 with my snap cubes. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So my big number told me how many to start with, and my dot die down here tells me how many to take away. So this time I'm only taking 1 away. And you might already know that 8 minus 1 is 7, but if you don't know that already, we can count our snap cubes up here to make sure. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now that we know 8 minus 1 is 7, we're going to come back down on our recording sheet, find our number 7, and write a 7. And that's how we play roll and record subtraction. So then after you do these two, you would go back and keep going until you fill up the whole sheet. And once you've finished up the whole sheet, filled up 1 through 10 all the way, then you're finished with the game. Our second game we're going to play today is called 5 in a row subtraction. And you play this game with a partner, but if you don't have a partner, you can also play by yourself. So what you're going to do is, it kind of looks like the last game we played. We have a number die and a dot die, and then we have our red and yellow counters. If you're playing online, it will look like this, but we also have the game board that looks like this. It's our 5 in a row subtraction game board, and then you can use your red and yellow counters. So I'm going to show you how to play it. You have to roll both die like we did last time. So let's roll our number die and then our dot die. And then you're going to subtract. So what I like to do is put the 9 in my head, and then I'm going to count backwards to subtract when I count the dots. So I start with 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So 9 minus 4 equals 5. So I need to find the 5 on my game board, and I'm going to take my little counter over here and cover up a 5. If I were doing it on my paper, I would just come down here, find a 5, and cover it up with my counter. So now it's my partner's turn, or if I don't have a partner, I'll just roll again. So I'm going to roll my number die and then my dot die. So I've got 11 up here, and I'm going to be subtracting 6. So let's put the 11 in our head again, and we're going to count backwards. If it helps you to use snap cubes, you can use snap cubes like we did in our last game. So I'm going to start with my 11 and count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So 11 minus 6 equals 5. So I'm going to find a counter down here again and cover up another 5. If I'm playing with my paper game board, I'm just going to take another counter and cover up another 5. So let's do it one more time. I'm going to roll my number die and then my dot die, and then I'm going to subtract. So I'm starting with 8. The number die always tells us that's the number we're starting with, and I'm going to subtract 5. So I'm going to put that 8 in my head and count backwards again. So I've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So this time I'm looking for a 3 that I'm going to cover up. And the goal is to get 5 counters in a row. So I'm looking for a 3 that's near my other counters, and I see one right here. So I'm going to cover that 3 up with my counters. And if I'm playing on my paper game board, I'm just going to take a counter and cover it up right there. And I'm going to keep going until I get 5 in a row. You can get 5 in a row this way or even across, as long as you have 5 in a row. And when someone has 5 in a row, then the game's over and you can start again.